Hello, we're from the best group, which has five members who are Amr Khalid, Mohammed Hilmi Zahid Idris, which is me, Mohammed Rafiq Rahman, Rabi Samudra, and last member is Salim Ali Sulaiman. So we're going to present a topic for our presentation, which is hedonism. So from definition, the word hedonism is derived from the ancient Greek word which means pleasure. And the main idea is to get the most pleasure in life. There are two kinds of hedonism. Motivational or psychological hedonism claims that only pleasure or pain motivates us, whereas evaluative or ethical hedonism claims that only pleasure has worth or value and only pain or displeasure has disvalue. But in simpler terms, it simply means that pleasure is good and pain is bad. So generally, hedonism is considered a bad thing because it implies that you're seeking pleasure at the expense of everything else, including morality. And so that means you're going to be doing immoral things, which is not a good thing. So hedonism also tends to entail the prevention of suffering, a topic which is an increasingly popular issue in applied ethics.
Hi everyone, this is Salim Ali Sulaiman from Best Philosophers Group in the philosophy subject. Today I want to talk about my part on history of hedonism. Hedonistic theories of conduct have been held from the earliest times. They have been regularly misrepresented by their critics because of a simple misconception. The earliest and most extreme form of hedonism is that of the Cyrenaics, as stated by Aristobulus, who argued that the goal of good life should be the sentient pleasure of the moment, since, as Protagoras maintained, knowledge is solely of momentary sensations. It's useless to try to calculate future pleasures and to balance pains against them. No school has been more subject to the misconception noted above. The Epicureanism is completely different from Cyrenaicism. For Epicurus, pleasure was indeed the supreme good, but his interpretation of this maxim was profoundly influenced by the Socratic doctrine of Protagoras and Aristotle's conception of the best life.
So I'm going to be explaining about the criticism of hedonism. There are many arguments that have challenged hedonism as a way of life. These are some of those arguments. Many aspects of life and their value cannot be explained by how much pleasure they bring to the individual or how much pain they evoke. Basically, things that we value in life simply cannot be measured by how much pleasure they can bring you or how much pain they can bring you. The next point is not all pleasure is good pleasure. So because pleasure is relative, not every source of pleasure, not every feeling of pleasure we get can be good for us or is good for our well-being. The third point is there isn't a concrete definition of pleasure. So basically, because pleasure is relative and there's many types of pleasure, there is actually no definition that exists that can cover all the different types of pleasure, because the pleasure is relative. In Islam, we are taught to be free of nafs, which is refers to a specific part of ourself that has desires, appetite, and some people call it ego. These things can evoke the feeling of pleasure, which can lead to the idolization of things other than Allah. So as Muslims, we must let go of unnecessary pleasures in order to truly be able to worship Allah.
The impact of hedonism. Hedonism has adverse effect of social inequalities, so the person will think of himself, and will not think about the others. He will just go for his own pleasure. 2. Materialistics, which is the hedonic person will be dissatisfied what he has and will look for more than that, and will be jealous from what other peoples have. The third one is the hedonic person is loving the night world, like clubbing, drugs, parties, something like that. Number 4, the hedonic will spend money on buying goods that he does not need it. Number 5, the hedonic will buy like expensive things just because it's a brand or something that I'd like to show off. The last one, irresponsibility. The hedonic will be irresponsible for the things that he do. The solution for the hedonism, number 1, is that you will always be grateful to Allah that give you these pleasures like sun, money, and something like that, and the life that you live. So you have to be grateful to Allah and remember that Allah gave you everything and trying to worship Him because of that. Number 2, control the lust. Like Allah said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فأما من طغى وآثر الحياة الدنيا فإن الجحيم هي المأوى وأما من خاف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى فإن الجنة هي المأوى. That means that the person who will try to control his lust, he's doing a reason to go to Jannah inshallah.